Hello and welcome back to my ongoing attempt to beat Lord Blackscale, the Trandoshan overlord of all things nefarious in Kashyyyk. We have come to the Riot Trail and we're going down to the Webweaver path to rescue a family member of the person who's the resistance leader who we're working for at the moment. A little bit of a side quest to help them out while they interrogate someone that we abducted last time. So this is a good opportunity to show you where the radio is that starts this quest series once you've spoken to Zaylout, and you come down here to get the radio. It's lots of twisty, windy, scary things, feral Wookies hanging out with spiders on these gnarled giant tree roots, very much as Kashyyyk is described in the EU novels. Well, it was when I read the EU novels. I don't know if they've changed that since then. They may have meant, no, that's legacy. There's no giant trees on Kashyyyk now. There's just very small bonsai trees with mini Wookiees. Yes, Oblo Pascal, whatever, is in charge of the law now. Well, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. It's, you know, so I do this quite a lot with lower level, but also it works with high level guys. You just keep running and they eventually break aggro and boost with the Jedi to get up there. The danger with the Riot Trail, and it's happened to me an awful lot, is that you fall through the world onto the ground. Suddenly you're walking along these paths, and particularly where these bridges meet the branches, you can sometimes look up, fall down. I don't, spoiler, I don't on this occasion. Just a little spider saw my lightsaber and thought better of it. Hiccuping. Yeah. If that happens, there are a couple of commands that can help. //eject can help. /unstick can help. They're not guaranteed to get you out of here. And this is an area where lots of people grind. It's the first time I've been down here for a long time where those feral Wookiees, there's not someone macroing and killing them all. So over the bridge and down we go. And towards this little Blackscale camp here. Some scary dudes. These are the enemies that could cause a problem. As you see, they're all elites. Blackscale Enforcer. Let's have a look at him. I like to have a look at the enemies that I'm killing. Don't they look cool? Blue with red eyes. Trandoshans. And I think they're all the same. A little bit of a mini game. Look at him strutting his funky stuff. Chitin armor he's wearing. And this is the only downside to being a Jedi. We always have to meditate before we fight. Do a bit of a Qui-Gon Jinn here. But while I do that, I'll talk through. You know, I remember the Riot Trail very fondly, apart from that little bug that goes through, because I did a lot of Jedi grinding here to get the experience needed to unlock my Jedi slot. I'd come down here with a friend and we'd stand at those feral Wookiees, just murdering things. And eventually got there and unlocked the Jedi, and that was great fun. But I think that's why to this day the sound effects on this, particularly maybe not the Webweaver path, but higher up when I hear it, I just get a sense of, because I spent so much time here grinding. So I've got all my buffs going here. I am stacking agility. I've got my Minoc, which adds agility. I've got the Mustafarian Injector for advanced protection. I also have, and I just popped the Favour of the Elders. Don't need extreme buffing for this. So a little mini game that I do is I don't fight everything. I try and see if I can get through without having to fight things. And I'm worried that the whole place is going to aggro me here. So like find spaces between the groups of enemies and see if you can work your way through. So I think it's that white arrow on the map there that let's see if we can sneak around the back here. Be really sneaky. Like surely they'd hear my footsteps behind those, what are they, leather walls that they've got up there, made of Wookiee skin maybe. Trying to go around the edges of things. So the radio, I believe, is in one of these two tents. I think it's in the first tent there. You click on that and you can kind of get in there here and get out without having to fight everything. But occasionally, even when they've not got line of sight, they can still shoot you, which is annoying. So we'll have to take care of this guy. With the lightsaber now, I have a decent crystal. It's Alia's Redemption, I believe, and we have all ancient crepe pearls, so it doesn't help too much because Naplu is never going to be hugely DPS fast at killing these things, but you know, whatever we can do to up the DPS a little bit. But I don't want to sacrifice any defense to do that, so but you might as well get your lightsaber up to the highest level possible. Look at this guy, little tiptoeing towards me. I got aggroed by 2, and I think the guy, yeah, the guy behind there can fight. His special ability is fight through tents. He's popped that special there. Fiendish. Just try and find some. Sometimes they, if you go a little bit further away, they like teleport through tents. So, but he obviously doesn't have that ability. What is that guy using as a weapon? A giant piece of scaffolding. Just a massive piece of aluminium to batter Jedi with it. What an asshole. Oi, you. Where's the door? Where's the door? I see he's lost interest now. As soon as I get towards the door and he sees like, uh-oh. So this is route. Oh, we're going to send... Everything has 2... You stranger, you do not look like one of this lot. Yeah. And then word made it out. I knew they would come for me. Yes, I cannot. I have around my neck a deadlock. If I stray from this area, it will detonate and take my head with it. To taunt me, they wrote the code on a rock and gave it to one of the feral Wookiees. I pleaded with him to give me the rock, but he just roared at me and ran off. But you are free if you could get it. Yeah, I will have a look around. So, non-specific feral Wookiee. So, we got to just slaughter feral Wookiees, which I feel is extreme. You know, just because they're feral doesn't mean they're bad, does it? You know, is a fox is feral? Badger is feral. There are many feral things. Doesn't mean we lop their limbs off. We might now have to go back to the big congregation of feral Wookiees because there are a couple at the top of here. This is like the poor man's grinding spot. If you can't get that main area where all the feral Wookiees are milling about, you can come here and kill 4 of them. Look at that. You know, the models when they have huge muscles are quite scary. Because you think of our default, like default template for a Wookiee is Chewbacca, isn't it? But some of these guys are hugely beefy. It's kind of scary. The only AoE I've got is my saber reflex. So we got the code straight away there. So not much grinding to do. So just what I do is try and aggro as many as possible and then use saber reflex. So at least I'm hitting all of them at once as they pound on me. But I mean, I could use Jedi does have Force Wave, I believe it is, and I don't think I have that. I've not got that unlocked because it doesn't seem to be very effective, really. There's not many occasions when I want to use it, apart from that, I guess. But you know, yeah, it's not something I've missed. I used it early on when I was grinding with Naplu just to see how it worked in combat, and half the time, you know, the temptation is to hit it when you're fighting a bunch of enemies and it aggro's a ton that you don't really want to contend with. So I've left it out of his build, really. Like I say, just defense. Might get the Guardian set at some point to that's the heroic jewelry you get from doing the raid content, just to see how it compares. But I don't know if it's going to be as good for my purposes. Jumped by several. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've aggroed here. Just got. I thought one had gone in the tent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just use the Shard of Retaliation because that could potentially be worrisome. If the whole camp spawns, then I am... If a whole camp aggroes, then I am definitely dead. Come on, kill him! Kill him! There we go. Down to 3. It's more manageable. Can manage... this is a little pygmy transition. Look at him, he's so cute. Look at his little face. You just want to grab it and squeeze it. Not particularly intimidating. Even though he has a proper melee weapon rather than a piece of aluminium, he's still dead. So that's obviously it's a kind of scripted spawn. I'm not sure how many of these are scripted to attack you and how many just kind of aggroed from the main group there. I think 3 spawned and then 2 came running in from a distance. We could just run away here. We might sort of finish the fight. And I started reverse engineering now. So when we're doing quests like this, but a big part of why I decided to reverse engineer was that this clothing that you get, the static clothing, you can sell it on your vendors and it may even be used to you as you're grinding up your character. End game, you're going to be looking for these 35s, which are the max static clothing that is crafted by characters. But as you're grinding up, the clothing that drops can sometimes be useful, kit you out with some additional stuff. So there's that use, and there's also the use for selling it on your vendors. People will buy it. But for me, I wanted a more of a use, so I decided to reverse engineer. Now when I get static clothing, it's always a resource that I can reverse engineer into power bits, so it makes doing some quest content more worthwhile for Naplu now that I have a character who can reverse engineer that clothing. Just gives me a little bit of, I don't know, more meaningful, because there are grabbing loot and stuff and doing quests for loot, and the chance that someone's going to drop something is very cool, but a lot of the time that doesn't happen and you get a lot of junk. So having something that turns it into something a little better than junk is kind of nice, isn't it? So I'll skip back to telling, or what's a face that we've got. Route is fine if these things will just let me run away. Yeah, we're heading back, and happily we don't fall through the ground this time. We are back. Hello, I saved your son, was it? Your sister, your friend, your mother? Kaimar. Route is safe and wants you to know all is well. This is music to my ears. I am forever in your debt. While you were gone, discovered a number of things from Rusk. My friend Gerson Byers, who stays in the huts below, will brief you. But first I have a gift. In examining Rusk's ship, we discovered the purpose of his visit. A shipment of weapons for the Avatar fleet had been delivered to the Blackscale compound, and he was receiving them personally. What type of weapons, eh? Ion cannons, probably for their transport raiders. I got a vengeance ion cannon. I'll go speak with Gerson then. So apparently you do get some space gear. This thing is not going to fit on my ship, but it has good damage, doesn't it? We need to reverse engineer that with other level 8 gear to make it usable. Energy per shot is very high and stuff. So yeah, and we got some static clothing here. It's not level 90, but it might turn into some decent power bits. Oh, and junk. I can also use that. Alright, so next time we're going to talk to this Gerson chap about the next step in my mission. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching me, and if you're watching the series, I really appreciate that as well. It's my little YouTube experiment to see if we can get some views going on the channel, and we'll see how it goes. Hey, you know, you can only try, can't you? And I'm trying. All right, see you tomorrow for the next video when we found Gerson. I'm typing in to figure out where he is here, because I'm not exactly sure where he is, but I'll find him for next time.